What do we got here? We got some George Janko and Andrew Tate. Watched this last night. It's a damn good episode right here. And they were bringing up some good points. So I kind of jumped right in the middle right here. Let's get into it.
It gets my message across better. I feel like it gets my message across better. And even now, the thing I just said, which brought this whole point up, me saying shh and being dismissive, was a small way of showing a larger meta point. And the meta point was, I'm uninterested in what you're about to say and your fear. And I'm uninterested in your fear.
And that's my general point with followers of Abraham. I'm uninterested in your fear. Because fear, a God of love, right? Yet fear is your selling point for your religion. Don't go to hell. Don't go to the bad place.
I get this. And usually somebody with a logic understands this. Somebody who's probably grew up with humor understands this. Somebody who grew up with a good father understands this. So this is my thing. God made you a leader. 100%.
I'll take it.
Okay. And now you're leading men.
Yep.
But there's a huge crowd of people that you will never understand or touch.
Yep.
Because
Now, of course, right off the bat, when he's saying God, he's referring to the follower of Abraham's perception of God, right?
feel pridefully, you don't give a fuck. You're like, if you can't come on with me on this journey, then get the fuck bent. Literally, metaphorically, and physically.
Well, not all minds are ready to be freed. They say it inside of the movie.
But which one is valuable enough to be free? Christ saved everybody. He didn't just come and pick a couple people.
Absolutely, but you can lead a horse to war, or you cannot force it to drink. And I feel like the reason why I'm now one of the most liked people on the internet, and the reason my comments are so positive, I have to answer that question, is heavily leveraged against chaos. The thing is with my brand, I don't entertain. I do entertain, but that's not my purpose. I'm trying to teach people things. I'm trying to give them things. Even the things I sell are beneficial. I have a school that teaches people how to make money online. It's beneficial. If you follow me, you can make money online. You'll start to train and go to the gym. You'll listen to some positive motivational things. You'll feel more motivated. I'll try and guide you towards God. Either one. I'm not even strictly Islam. I believe that if you are
Either one. It's the same God, bro. Yeah. It's the same God. Either one. But it's the same God. My take. Of course, you will have the, Muslims and Christians. They will each sit there and say, no, it's the one true God, but it's different from that other one true God over there. Totally different because we got different messengers. Now, doesn't it make sense that the one true God would send different messengers to get his message across to different people who speak different languages and live in different regions? I mean, that just makes a lot more sense to me than there are completely separate one true gods. Okay?
religious person, you're a better person regardless of the religion you choose.
Because you have to follow your morals and have boundaries.
Absolutely. So all of my messaging is positive. So as the world gets...
And of course, right there, when he says your morals, he means the morals imposed by the religion, not your personal morals.
more messed up, I'm leveraged against chaos. As the world becomes a bigger mess, as people struggle to survive to pay their bills, as people become more and more unhappy, as the wars start, all this craziness, people sit there and go, do I want to be entertained by clowns? Do I want to watch these streamers who are clowns? Do I want to be entertained? Or do I want a solution? Do I want some form of stability? Who is saying things which can actually help
Some substance.
me, which actually will directly impact my life in real time and make me feel better? And that's me. So I'm not entertained.
I love the way these guys talk, the Tates, Andrew and Tristan. They like to overpronounce their T's. Fighter, better. I don't know why it gets me every time. I like both of these fuckers, by the way. That's why I'm watching them. I don't got time for some people I don't like, so take it away, Tate.
In that way. My brand has become so strong and why most people like me. And it's also why a lot of people will forgive me for being semi-abrasive, because I feel as the world gets more messed up, which it is, people are going to learn some very abrasive, harsh lessons.
Well, anytime you go against the grain, you are going to be perceived as abrasive because you're not being compliant. You are not being a happy little slave, okay? So you will inherently be perceived as abrasive.
And sometimes when you've gone through a very harsh lesson, to be given a solution which isn't harsh, you're not going to believe it. To be given a harsh solution makes you feel like, okay, this guy knows exactly what he's talking about. I was on podcast very recently. I don't think it's even come out yet. And I was explaining to somebody, we were talking about depression, which everyone asked me about.
I'm going to circle back to that. I have something in my notes for that.
Yeah, and I was saying that as a man, your life.
Okay, so depression is any time that you aren't living up to your potential, okay? Depression is the sign of your subconscious telling your subconscious mind that you are not living up to your potential. That's all depression is. It ain't nothing but a thing. I'm very familiar with it. I was depressed most of my life, depressed and suicidal from the time I was 5 years old. I can remember wanting to die. I had a rough childhood. You know, there's a lot of people that had worse, but I definitely didn't have the best childhood. But I can remember being 5 years old, just wanting to die, you know. And I didn't stop wanting to die like that until I turned 30 years old. When I accepted these basic facts that you can control your life, and that if your life is not what you want, you know, you can change it to make it better. Okay, those two things is all you need to start mastering your depression.
Life is supposed to be shit. My argument to this is people go, oh, I don't feel good. I say, good. Your life as a man is going to be terrible the entire time. Who told you at any point? I don't know what the Bible says. I haven't read it cover to cover like I've read the Quran, but I don't think.
Nobody said it would be easy, but no one said it would be this hard.
The Bible says you're supposed to time. The Quran certainly doesn't.
Well, in Matthew, it says you're supposed to cast your anxiety and depression on him. So life isn't going to be easier, but you. Example.
Sure.
When Jesus was walking on the water, this is the example I say. When a storm hits, the storm is still hitting.
Yep.
But there's a difference from you drowning in the storm or standing above the storm.
Absolutely.
And I think that you're always going to have challenges and obstacles.
Storms are going to come.
But I guarantee you, there's obstacles that you could walk through with a smile on your face that another man could fall apart.
Absolutely. I've just been through some, and I'm sure I'll have more.
What was it?
Well, it says in the Quran, just because you believe, you think Allah will not test you. Just because you believe in me, you think you're not going to be tested.
I think being tested is a great thing for
that's
you.
how God shows love.
Yeah.
Because because God's love is a disciplinarian love. It's a masculine.
Well, I mean, all of life is a constant test. You know, all of life is itself a test, and the entire point of life is to ascend your consciousness. Okay, and to become your own master, to walk the path of ascension. All right, that is the purpose of life. And walking the path of ascension, all that is fulfilling your potential, becoming your best self. All right.
Love. It's like a father. A father shows love through putting you on the bike, letting you fall over, letting you hurt your knee, picking you back up, putting you back on the bike. That's how a father shows love, and God is the same.
Your father used to push you down when you was a kid.
That's right.
Your mom used to be upset about this. Let's time travel back to you as a child.
Sure.
Because I feel like what made you who you are now is based mostly off of how you were raised.
Absolutely.
Take me back.
Yeah, I think I had the best possible upbringing a person can have, which is good parents and no money. I didn't get famous or rich young, which I also thank the Lord for. I think a lot of these people who get famous online quite early, I think they miss out a lot of life.
It's not real life.
It's not real life.
It's not real life.
No, I had real jobs and I did real things, and I was really broke and I was really on the bus and really trying to pay rent and doing real stuff for a long time.
I wrote a line in here, and I think you could relate to it. A poor man is broke, a rich man is broken. So if you're broke, you can figure out a way to everything, and you don't know how to manage this life, you're broken, and you don't feel like you've earned anything. I've met more depressed men than I've met depressed broke men.
It's amazing you say that, because there's two answers to that. My first one is, I love that you say that, because I always say, I'm not rich. I'm a poor man with a lot of money. I always used to say that, and I don't want to brag or anything, but just because I get asked this question a lot. I've been extremely successful. I have hundreds of millions of dollars. In fact, I think our last valuation across everything we own we're almost at B now. So we're doing very, very, I'm a billionaire. Top G's a billionaire. So we're doing extremely well. That's the first thing. The second thing, it's great that you say that, because I completely agree. Because if you're born with everything, if you're born with all this money, that you have no aspiration, nothing to actually grasp onto and trying to achieve, then money doesn't make you happy. But then you can analyze this from another angle, right? We were just talking earlier,
Yeah, all money is a tool of slavery, okay? Slavery was never abolished. It was just synthesized into the modern society in which we find ourselves in, all right? Slavery was transferred onto the entire population through the monetary system. Now, the monetary system can be used for whatever. It's a double-edged sword, okay? Now, right now, us having physical money, that's something they're trying to take away from us, because even with our monetary system currently, as broken as it is, it's going to be a lot worse when we don't have physical money to show for it, and that's what they're pushing for. And at the point where you don't have anything physical right off the bat given to you, at that point we will truly be slaves as a society, and that's something that we should absolutely guard against.
Let's pivot back to who the Matrix are, who's in charge. So let me ask you.
Do you have somebody that
Well, let me ask you a question.
Okay, go ahead.
If you're born into a dynasty, let's say a banking dynasty, and you're born a billionaire, and you have everything you've ever wanted ever, and money has absolutely no value at all, and a brand new Ferrari doesn't mean a thing. You could buy one every rest of your life, and money doesn't make you happy. What's the one thing that's going to make you happy?
Controlling others.
Controlling others. Power.
Yeah.
Ego. So then you sit there and start looking at things.
Because
going,
games become real.
So now you're like, okay, well, money doesn't satisfy me. What makes me feel important? Especially if you're going to add.
Yeah, and that's all money is. It's a medium for power, okay? And to the average person, you know, we're all toiling our lives away for these scraps of paper that's just barely enough to make it through week to week on, and that's all part of the system. That is intentional. That is inherent in the system. Okay, that's intentional to make the entire population slaves using the monetary systems, and that's something that we have to be aware of in order to avert that. All right.
Let's add in another angle to it. Let's imagine you falsely believe, because it is falsely, that you're somehow genetically better than others. You're from this lineage. You're better than the other.
And that's what these motherfuckers believe, the ones that run society. They believe that they are inherently better than all of us. I mean, if you were them, you probably would too. You know, you were born into this. You're just better, and everyone else is your slaves. Everyone else is your fiefs. All right, and these guys make some great points here. Let's roll what it takes.
People, and the other people, the serfs and peasants, are struggling for money, and you have unlimited money because you're so smart, and your family's always been so smart.
You'll have haughty eyes.
Yeah. So then you're going to sit there and go, well, why did they make people put on a mask when they walked in the restaurant and take the mask off to eat and then put it on to go to the toilet and then take it out?
I didn't do that shit, bro. I was one of the very few walking around no mask. Fuck y'all. I'm not allowed in without a mask. I ain't coming in. Go fuck yourself. You know, and all you motherfuckers, 2 weeks lasted 2 years. I was really shocked how compliant everyone was with that. I was super shocked. Disappointed, even. Showed me that the majority of the population is slaves. They are, you guys are slaves. Most of them, I mean, I don't know, whoever wasn't wearing their mask around, you can stand with me in the non-slave aisle, but the rest of y'all are fucking slaves, bro.
Off to eat and then put it back on. Because
I have.
Now, if you truly believed that your health was in jeopardy, okay, that little fucking mask wasn't doing it, okay? A virus would get through them fucking masks. You would have to have a full-on respirator. You would have had to have had on a full-on respirator with a tight seal all the way around in order for something like that to be actually effective. All right, all you people going around virtue signaling with your little slave. What does this do? That silence. That silence. You can't talk with that on, can you? Yeah, that's all part of the plan, okay? And the very fact that you guys were not wearing respirators, you were just wearing these bullshit little fucking masks. Oh, just cover your face with something. That'll do it. Yeah, nah. Slaves, man.
I'll tell you why, because it's funny.
You think it's just because it's funny?
Because it's an ego. Because it's ego.
I thought it was a test to see how far they could push something.
Compliance tests.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Compliance. How far and how long? I say jump. How long do you keep jumping? I didn't say stop jumping. Motherfucker, keep jumping over there.
Which is the same thing. So when you really understand that people who are in charge of the world are completely, like you said, broken. There are broken people. Money can't satisfy them. People said, I keep referencing COVID, and I do that because it was something tangible that everybody lived through. That's a very easy one.
Money doesn't satisfy them because they are the ones that create it, and they know that money is actually nothing. They know that money is nothing because they created the system which uses it, okay? In which money is pretty much just a tool to take everyone's time away from them. We spend all of our lives chasing these little pieces of paper, okay, that don't adequately, for our time, and we're just week to week, day to day, week to week. I mean, that's all part of the plan right there. That's all part of the slavery imposed by the monetary system that we use.
This is actually, it's a bad thing that could work in your favor because now they could relate to you.
Yeah.
Did you guys know we do live shows? Well, technically, we've only had one real live show, and it went amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And next year, we're going to be doing so many more. If you want me to come to your city, text me here, this number, so I can know where to go. I'll see. I'll be like, oh, look, Chicago, or oh, New York, or oh, Minneapolis. Okay. Enjoy the show. They went through that. Yeah. So it's hard to explain to a broke kid what a rich kid goes through, or what a broke person goes through. Yeah. So this is actually a huge blessing. Do you think that COVID and people's frustration on what happened to them link them to understand your theories more?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of what I was saying during COVID about the Matrix, everyone called me crazy. And by the end of COVID, a lot of people were like, Andrew, you nailed it, day one. Because I don't think many people understand, because I wasn't nearly as famous then.
Was that a pun joke? No pun intended? Nailed it.
The videos exist on the internet. Me and my brother were the kings of COVID. Everyone else now understands it was garbage. Everyone else talks tough. Everyone else has their story about how they went out during COVID. Now. But you're tough now. On day one of COVID, day one, when they still had the people falling over in the street in China.
What was that? That video?
Yeah.
They're just running in the street and dropping dead?
Yep. When the Italian hospital was overrun, day one, my brother and I sat down and had a conversation in our war room, our cigar lounge, which was very similar to this. And we sit down and said, if this...
And that was all a... That was all a concerted plan right there by the elites, okay? All the release of it, the enforcing of the V-axis. I got to talk in code a little bit about this because the last one I did, they just totally erased my video on it. So
these will kill people like you and I, military-aged males. Then the world is over. It's zombie apocalypse. So what are we going to do? And we sat there and decided whether we should hide as long as possible or if we should just go out all guns blazing. So we decided to go out all guns blazing like heroes. This is all documented. It's on video. And day one of COVID, when everyone else was afraid, we flew to Sweden because it was the only open country. And we spent the next 4 months...
Ironic.
Yeah.
Because who lives in...
Super ironic because the majority of the people, the elites that run everything are out of Sweden, okay? And... yeah, they're like, rules for thee, not for me. We're partying, bitches. Y'all on lockdown, dumbass motherfuckers.
Sweden.
Very strange. We spent the next 4 months in Stockholm, in 6 nights a week in nightclubs with Swedish chicks, partying, while the rest of the world was locked.
Mass Stockholm Syndrome, okay? That's what's going on here. For the whole world, especially during the lockdown, mass Stockholm Syndrome. Okay, and Stockholm Syndrome is where you have a captor, okay, that is abusing you, yet you are so conditioned by the abuse that you start to fear, you start to fear for the captor. You start to stick up for the captor. Oh no, put your mask on. You got people running around policing each other, okay? all to toe the company line.
In their house. Nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about the fact that Sweden was open, no restrictions, you could do whatever you wanted, nightclubs were open, everyone was partying, everyone else was locked up, not allowed to go to funerals. We were literally in parties all day, every day. I didn't even get sick, didn't even get cold, and it was cold outside, didn't even get the sniffles. So we won COVID early. So even after this experience, for the next 2 years of COVID, I'm trying to scream at people, listen, wake up. I'm like, oh, yeah. On the news, they wouldn't just lie to us and try and scare us all for no reason.
Oh, they would. And actually, I don't know if y'all remember this or not, but right when the lockdown started happening, when people started coming out to protest the lockdowns, remember, that's when they sent the BLM in. Yeah, That's when and what they do is if people come out and protest something and they don't like what they are protesting against, they will send in another group to hijack the protest and change the whole narrative of what the protest is even about. Okay, so anytime people would start to come out and start to protest the lockdowns, they'd be like, all right, BLN, get in there. And I mean, it's widely known that people were getting paid to go around rioting. Okay, and people, and you motherfuckers were letting them destroy your own cities, man. You were letting these motherfuckers destroy your own cities.
Reason until you understand the good and evil in the world, and you understand that's how the devil actually operates. But the point I was going to make earlier about talking about how these people are broken and money doesn't satisfy them. People often say, COVID was just for money. And I say that's actually a very optimistic.
Well, money is a symbol for power, because anytime you're talking about money, you're not just talking, because what is money? Money is a monetary system that is meant to represent value. Okay, it isn't value itself, it is representing value, but the value is in the minds of the people that use it. Without people's acceptance of money, then the money itself has no value. Okay, so our minds have to be, we have to accept to use something. That's the only thing that gives it its power. Okay, a symbol is only empowered by a sentient singularity who uses it and believes in it. Okay, without the belief of the sentient singularity, that there is no power behind that symbol. And that goes for every symbol. So true value lies in the minds of the people. Okay,
View of the world. It wasn't just for money. It was worse.
They have money.
They print money.
Yeah.
They make money. They are the money.
When I found out about I just learned about how they print money. I literally could not believe.
Oh yeah, money's not real.
For 3 days, I'm sitting around, so I'm like, what the fuck is this? So they could just print this shit?
Money is not real. It's not real. They just print it. It's not real.
Fair. Please continue.
Yeah, so money's not real. And I say that to people.
So it's not about money.
Well, no, it's real, but it's like I just said. The only the thing that makes it real is the power that we give it. Okay, the power that the people give it is what makes any monetary system work. All right, which is why they are slowly trying to take the paper system away and then force the world on the digital currency, which that's a whole nother level of tyranny right there.
No, it's not about money. So what's it's about power and control. Yeah. Because when you get to a certain level of wealth, and I'll talk from my own personal experience, I want people to understand I come from the lowest possible socioeconomic background. I come from a single mother household. My father and mother broke up when I was 9. I lived in Luton, England, which is the worst town in England. I grew up and went to a school with a 3% pass rate. Everyone around me was stabbing each other and selling drugs.
I thought you said your father was one of the best fathers you've ever had.
He was, but my mother and father broke up and he stayed in America and I moved to England. And he wasn't financially successful, but he taught me other lessons. Gotcha. And I'm glad he didn't give me money, because I think that a harsh upbringing and a harsh life makes a man a man. I don't think you learn a lesson any other way. But I grew up from the absolute bottom, and now I'm up at a position where we have a very large empire. A lot of it is shadow. Most people don't know what it is, but even our overt things, even our university and things that are online are turning over $15, $20 million a week. So we're doing crazy sums of money. So I've been from the absolute bottom to the absolute top. I've seen it all. And once you get past a certain level of wealth, once you get past a certain level of money, yeah, but then you understand what money is, right? So we say about money not being real. Money's not real from a governmental perspective because they just print it as nothing. But money is stored time and energy of other people. If you have money, you have stored time and energy of other humans. Because that's right. Because I can take that money and make someone else use their time and energy for X thing.
Got it. So it's a different version of slavery.
Absolutely. Because if
that's what I've been saying.
I'm going to come along and say, you're no longer my slave. As my slave, you had to work for a house and a car. You're no longer my slave. In slavery, let's actually look at slavery.
Slavery began that way.
Yeah, and slavery said, you work on my plantation, I give you somewhere to eat.
Or I'll give you my daughter.
Yeah.
This is how people would work. And that's why they were like, oh, your Bible believes in slavery. I'm like, slavery was different. It wasn't like, there was bondages. Yeah. And there was slavery. That's why the Egyptians, that's a whole different type of slave. Yep. But the origination of slave was like a debt. I'm paying you a debt.
Yep. Yeah, completely. So let's look at even American slavery, the slavery that most Americans understand. You're going to work for me, I'm going to give you a house, and I'm going to give you food, and you're going to stay here and you're going to work. Slavery is abolished. So now what do? You're going to work for me, I'm going to give you that, I'm going to give you some money.
Hey, old school traditional slavery is still going on right now, this very moment. Let's not say it's abolished now. Because I mean, you have like the American slavery, which is like wage slavery, but you have actual literal fucking slaves going on right now, still to this day. All right, so let's not ever gloss over that point. While everyone's all worried about slavery and shit, there's different levels to it.
And that money is enough to only buy you a house and some food.
Exactly.
We've just put money in the middle. Now, if I can make you do whatever I want for money, and I can print as much money as I want, you're my slave.
Yes.
Because I can print it from the sky, and you need it to live. So you are my slave. Money's not real. So I have all...
Well, push back right there. You do not need it to live. You need water to live. You need air to live. You need food to live. You do not need money to live, okay?
This money, I have the stored time and energy of other humans. And once you get past a certain level of wealth, you understand, which ties back to COVID, that you're not interested in money. What you're interested in, it's always been about having good people around you. You want a beautiful, doting, loving woman who's obsessed with you. You want good brothers who stand by you and make you motivated. You want bodyguards who are going to protect you. You want people. And then you want to look at it further down the rabbit hole. You want to get more sinister. If you've been born into a lineage or a dynasty or the people who control the world, you want people, you want robot people. You don't want to be spoken to disrespectfully. In your empire, in your podcast empire, right? You now have a podcast. Would you allow a member of staff to come along and say, this is bullshit. I don't like how you do this. This is shit. You're shit. Or would you fire him?
Excellent point. Excellent point right here.
I don't know if I would fire them. I would first try to teach them how to behave.
And if they didn't listen,
they're out.
Absolutely. So let's imagine you ran a country.
Okay.
All right. Let's imagine you ran the world. And then let's imagine there's this guy called Top G who sits down there and becomes the most Googled man in the world for telling the world that COVID's a lie. And you're making everybody run around and do everything you say. You're going to allow that person to get away with it? And now you start to understand, that's how the Matrix operates. So the people who are broken, raised on money, are so obsessed with power and control, which explains a lot of the society we're in, because they don't look up to God. These people think they are God. So
that's the biggest fault.
And they're trying to make...
Yeah. We everyone is God. Everyone is God. Well, I guess I'm with them fuckers on that point, but there's intricacies and nuances within that belief itself.
Robots of us all. They're trying to enslave us.
I you know what bothers me more than anything is when...
Now, actually, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say some, but not all, of those families that control everything are not actually completely human. I will go out and say that. And you can take that how you want, but I do, because there's an anti-human agenda going on right now, trying to, depopulate the world. And it is overt. It is in your face. It is everywhere now. They're not even trying to remotely hide it. Got this what do they call it? Anti-natal movement, or running around just telling everyone, just don't have kids. Just let the human race die out of extinction. All right, well, razor's up, motherfucker. Here's the razor. Get to it with yourself.
I walk into an establishment and the person who's working is like, go to there, and they point at a machine. What breaks my heart is that machine is going to replace you.
Yep.
And you have no idea.
Yep.
So you've gotten in a...
Now, that's a double-edged sword too, because a lot of the functions and tasks that people do can be done by robots and machines, and that's not inherently bad, because there will be other jobs that open up for people. People are worried about machines taking their jobs, but the jobs that we are used to, these days can easily be done by machines, which would free up the time of people to do other things. But we have to be careful of, in that process, not for our actions to be usurped, and we'll see. They're just trying to wipe us all out at this point. Yeah.
Place where the person above you is encouraging you to be replaced. That's like, hey, see yourself out. Legitimately. See yourself out.
But people don't think. They don't, and they absolutely lack perspicacity. And then you go further down the rabbit hole, because, like I said, there's layers to the rabbit hole. I don't even know how Alex Jones you want me to go, but he's right about a lot.
All the way.
He's right about a lot of things.
Yeah, I've been listening to Alex since I was young. I mean, I tapped out on his shit for a while though, just because it was like the same old shit all the time, and like just the way he comes across, is all like doom and gloom. But I mean, he's right about a lot of fucking points. He really is. It's funny. My mom used to be like, Alex is gay, dude. I'm like, motherfucker, what? And she's like, yeah, Alex is gay as fuck. She's like, I can just tell. And he comes out on that podcast with, who was it, Joe Rogan or something, talking about, you ever been pile drived? I'm like, God damn, nailed it.
So you're an Alex Jones fan?
I like a lot of the things he says. And I'm not saying I agree with everything he says, but a lot of the things he says have been proven to be absolutely true.
Yes.
You know, you say conspiracy theorist. Nowadays, that just means you're ahead of the curve, unfortunately. And Alex...
Yeah, that term, conspiracy theorist, doesn't have the same kind of... you know, people used to be like, oh, conspiracy theorists. But now these days, they're like, damn, conspiracy theorists, y'all are onto something. Because, you know, especially the 2020 conspiracy shit's been coming out. Yeah.
was talking about, and a lot of other people talking about, and there's a lot of text which talks about the fact that the people who are in charge of the world, they believe that as AI improves, a huge percentage of the planet are going to become useless eaters. They don't need you anymore.
That actually scares me. The guy who created it even is scared of it.
Well, that's the thing. So let's give a thought experiment. As it stands right now, most people are so uninteresting and so unremarkable that you could replace them online with a chat GPT bot and you wouldn't really notice. Genuinely, that's how boring most humans are. If you're special and remarkable and unique and you're famous or you do whatever, that's different. But most people you could replace with chat GPT by...
Famous don't got nothing to do with being special. There's damn sure people famous for no fucking reason that ain't special worth a fuck.
Text you wouldn't even notice. And that is a free application which is brand new. Imagine we're going to be in 20 years from now. So we start talking about useless eaters. This has been discussed by very important, very powerful people at length. The same people who are trying to give you the vaccine are talking about the fact that the population of the earth needs to decline. Why do they...
Yes. Gates is on record saying that axes is the best way to control overpopulation. Okay, I don't know how much more fucking clear he can spell it out for you, dumb mother. All right, that the V-axis is the best way to control human overpopulation. You dumb motherfuckers. Yeah, line up for him. I didn't get a single one. Fuck y'all.
Why do we need... They say it. Bill Gates says it.
Yes.
Why do we need to get rid of people? Well, machines will do it. So why do we need people sitting around who have hopes, dreams, aspirations? They want health care. They want safety, security, children. All of this garbage. We just need somebody to do X job, and a machine can do X job. So what do we need these people for? So then you start looking...
I find it weird that Hollywood was the first one to strike about it, but it was about actors.
Well, yeah, because have you ever asked ChatGPT to write a movie?
Like that?
Bro, it's better than anything you've seen in Hollywood in a long time. There's no woke bullshit. There's no trans, lesbian, black, double-dicked fucking hero. So it's great.
You know what's so funny is that, like, this episode is definitely gonna, like, fuck my account up, but I'm in for it. I'd rather be, like, real and... Like, if God forbid, if I passed away, I just want to make sure that I was authentic.
Absolutely.
And so I'm really enjoying this conversation.
Absolutely.
So they're gonna wipe people out with robots. How do you get in the way of that? So you want to be the Superman of this generation?
It's not about me. It's not about me trying to be the Superman. But
Well, I mean, I would say just people starting to become their best self. It's really easy to wipe people out when they are completely unremarkable, as Tate says. That's only because our ascension has been suppressed. Okay, our ascension has been suppressed by the establishments and systems which have been put in place in order to in order to strip us of our divine sovereignty. Okay.
I'm not that arrogant. It's just about me understanding what I know is going to happen and feeling like if God has given me to me, I should at least tell the truth of what's going to happen. Okay. When I'm sitting there and saying to men, look, life as a man is shit. It's always been shit. Been good. When men wake up and say I'm depressed and life is hard and I'm sad and I'm struggling right now, I say, okay, throughout history, men have always struggled. Happiness is for children and women. Name a time in history it was better to be a man. Was it better to be a man in World War II?
There is no joy without happiness.
Was it better to be a man on the Titanic? Was it better to be a man in the Napoleonic Wars? Was it better to be a man when you were sitting in Vienna and the Mongol horde arrived, ready to decapitate any male and enslave all the females? When's it ever been good to be a man? Building the pyramids, was that fun? It's always sucked. The only time being a man ever is good is if you become an exceptional man, which is even something feminists admit, because feminists...
Which is what I'm talking about. That is the best way to combat the anti-human agenda is by, you know, starting to walk on the path of ascension and becoming your best self. All right. By rejecting the systems that the establishment is forcing upon us. Okay. By stop toiling and looking up and looking around and seeing what the fuck is going on around you. By questioning. Yeah, you have to question, man. You have to question everything, which is what I'm doing here. I've questioned everything since I was a kid. I was raised up that way. I was raised Wiccan. As a kid, I just claim general spirituality these days. But roll would it take?
And complain about men and say, well, men have this, men have that. But they're talking about 2% of men.
Fascinating.
They don't talk about